Yes, for those wondering, Webb was again dominant. Picked at twitter.com/P8NTOPP2E, John Garcia Jr., at Gian Garcia Jr., April 22, 2018 Roswell, Georgia. A strong group of top prospects flocked to Roswell High School for the latest Under Armour All-America Camp event. Many backed up their lofty rankings despite a cold and wet day in the Atlanta area. 247 Sports takes a closer look at the best on either side of the football. Alpha Dog Clay Webb, video, above, was the highest-rated prospect expected to camp, expected to perform well, and did just that. He was the first prospect we witnessed check into the event, and all but one rep we saw him take before heading home. The 247 Sports composite 5-star took home Alpha Dog honors at the Future 50 event in January and continues another standout off-season a day after visiting the Georgia Bulldogs for their spring game. Though he plays up and down the Oxford Alla offensive line in high school, he worked at center on this day and continued to display some of what makes him no. one at that projected position in the class. Webb plays with a great base, can move exceptionally well laterally and packs a strong, consistent punch against defensive linemen. He doesn't lose leverage battles, has enough patience to avoid lunging or overextending, and plays with enough power to bury the opponent to cap it all off. We can't say much more positive things about Webb these days, especially when he is trim, as he currently is, and focused on the offensive interior. It's to the point it's a surprise when he loses a rep no matter the opponent or situation. He even won the offense's big man challenge at the end of the event. That skill and consistency has Alabama, Georgia, Auburn and others pursuing the junior aggressively. Despite being considered a top prospect for at least 2 years and familiarity on each of those SEC campuses, Webb says he will take his time with the recruiting process. The December signing period is when he currently projects a decision to be made. Next 5 Offense 1. Class of 2020 prospect who may have been the best looking on the hoof also looked like a potential 5-star when it counted on Sunday. Lithonia, Broderick Jones offensive tackle is listed at 6'6", 275 pounds, but he moves better than one would expect at that size. Without much bad weight if any, he can mirror speed rushers, and has enough of a punch to keep larger defenders at bay. Jones has long arms, can redirect, and displayed a bit of nasty at the end of reps. It's no wonder Alabama, Georgia, Tennessee and others have already offered the sophomore, who was invited to the Future 50 camp after his day's work. 2. Josh Downs was the most consistent wide receiver of the bunch Sunday. The Sewanee, North Gwinnett prospect did not lose a rep while the camera was on him, beating defensive backs with ease at times. Just 5'10", 165 pounds, there was an expectation for him to play quicker than most, but Downs did it with good speed and without slowing down through his cuts. The 2020 pass catcher also showed the ability to adjust to poorly thrown footballs without much space or notice. 9 programs have offered early on. 3 Michigan offensive line commitment Trent A. Jones flashed dominance on this day. At 6'6", 292 pounds, the Loganville, Grayson tackle is well proportioned with good athleticism. He kept pass rushers away from the proverbial quarterback with great aggression, a strong punch, and by taking smart chances in short spaces. Jones did well in the leverage department and finished with power. 4. Marietta, wide receiver Ramel Keaton created oohs and ahs with his physical play at the line of scrimmage, shoving a defender to the ground at one point en route to an easy win. The 4-star stands 6'3" and has a steady, long stride to go along with the physical approach. Looking to commit next month, the wideout performs with good body control and strong hands as well. Keaton accepted an invitation to the Under Armour All-America game after the camp's conclusion. 5. Yet another strong offensive line performer, Paul Tchio looked like a true tackle Sunday. The class of 2020 Alpharetta, Milton prospect has played inside for most of his young career but played patient football against solid defenders. He was on balance at 6'5" and used his length to direct the tempo of most reps. Well over 300 pounds, he was tough to move for just about every defensive lineman who tried more of a power-based approach. Tchio, singled out to 247 Sports by a coach on hand, broke down the latest in his recruitment earlier in the day. Top 5 Defense 1. Christian Williams recently made his commitment to Alabama and looked like a conventional Nick Saban defensive back on Sunday. The Daphne, Ole, 4-star has put some weight on his 6'1" frame, and he can maximize it either at the line of scrimmage or when the football arrives. Williams plays a physical game and displays great ball skills without drawing a penalty. Yes, they had officials at the event. The effort earned the junior an invitation to the Under Armour All-America game. 2. There wasn't a non-defensive back who made as many plays Sunday than Atlanta Love it linebacker Nick Jackson. He ran with running backs and inside receivers alike, almost safety-like with his solid speed and ability to transition, and it resulted in multiple interceptions and knockdowns. The junior was instinctive and aggressive in space and tracked the ball well in both man and zone looks. Some 30 college football programs have already given Jackson the news of a scholarship offer. 3. Powder Springs Hillgrove defensive end Miles Murphy did not win every rep he took, but he flashed big-time ability all day long. Already ranked as a top 40 prospect in the class of 2020, it didn't take very long to see his combination of size and explosion make things tough on blockers. He will have time to polish up his game and get secondary pass rushing moves, but the 6'4", 230-pounder looks and plays like the type of guy every program values on the edge. Murphy has several SEC and Big Ten offers to his name. 4. Tyron Hopper looked comfortable on the field despite the rain, potentially because the event was at the home of Roswell High. The Hornet defensive leader didn't have to travel as far as others in attendance, but he did a great job of preventing offensive players from gaining any ground. If not for the volume of Jackson's impressive plays, it would be Hopper who got more involved than any other linebacker we saw. Good size, speed and awareness opposite the passer, the Florida Gators hold all 7 of the current 247 Sports Crystal Ball selections for Hopper's services. 5. Jaleel Clemens was the only defensive lineman who clearly defeated Clay Webb. But the rare feat wasn't the sole impressive rep he took, beating blockers with great explosion off of the football and quickness thereafter. On play the Starkville, Miss, edge rusher beat the 5-star, he got on top of Webb before he was able to set and showed strong hands in chopping down the blockers before extension. At 6'3", 240 pounds, Clemens is a guy whose stock should steadily rise as he continues to perform how he did against a great crop of offensive linemen. A Power 5 program has yet to extend the class of 2019 prospect to this point. Noteworthy, the offensive lineman won the day against the defenders despite this setting often favoring the opposite. Among the additional prospects to impress at the position include class of 2019 3-stars Jeremy James, Riley Simons and Zach Hayes. Each are impressive on the hoof and have potential at tackle or guard at the next level. King Mwikuta is an outside linebacker projection, committed to Alabama, who worked out at defensive end Sunday. He won reps with speed and showed some physical ability at the point of contact in addition to solid straight-line speed. The combination earned him an invitation to the 2019 Under Armour All-America game. The LaGrange Troup County 4-star also won the Big Man Challenge among his defensive peers. Deion Sanders, on hand with his sons competing in the event, personally invited Buford cornerback Jalen Huff to the Prime 21 camp. It's intended for the top underclassmen defensive backs and wide receivers in the country, and the class of 2023 star learned of the news after a strong overall performance. Huff is closing in on double-digit offers with South Carolina, a program to keep an eye on early on. The cold, steady wind and heavy rain didn't help any of the quarterbacks at the event, but Flowood, Miss Jackson Academy arm King Ed Dent still found a way to play consistent football. He got better as the day went on and was the most productive in the half skelly with good decisions and zip on the football. Dent had the throw of the day when he split 2 defenders by fitting one low in the back of the end zone, a play that would stand as the last score of the event. Phoenix City All-A Central defender Ray Thornton stands near 6'2", 200 pounds, and it has created discussion about his positional future. He is listed as a safety, his high school position, by 247 Sports, and looked the part Sunday. He may still end up adding weight and becoming a safety, linebacker hybrid, but was steady in coverage with good hips, straight line speed and feel when the football was in the air. Auburn, Ole Miss and Duke are in strong position for his services at this time. Running backs Jamius Griffin and Monty Spivey were too much for most linebackers to handle. Griffin, from Rome High, even split out and beat a blue-chip defensive back despite the weather. Comes out of the blocks very well, and maintains top speed through his cuts with the ability to catch the ball away from his body. Spivey, who plays for Phoenix City All-A Central, just added an offer from Missouri Friday. He is more of the conventional all-purpose back, fluid in space and smooth through contact. class of 2020 defensive end Jacari Wiggles was among the most fluid edge rushers and won nearly all of his reps with speed or quick moves inside. At 6'3", 245 pounds, he does a good job of setting up the offensive linemen, particularly outside, with the opportunity to come back underneath with strong hands and lower body power. The Atlanta pace prospect has no offers, according to his 247 sports profile, something that comes off as a big surprise based on what we saw Sunday.